Welcome to the GLP-1 Hub podcast. I'm Anna Reisdorf, registered dietitian and GLP-1 user. I am so excited today to share this episode with you of a GLP-1 user named Barb Herrera, and she has lost 280 pounds on GLP-1. And both of us cried during the interview, and it's just like really emotional. And I'm really, really excited to share this with you today. I also want to remind you that we have a lot of resources over on the GLP-1 Hub website. So there is a get started guide over there that you will find called Beyond the Shot. And I created it in partnership with one of my wonderful colleagues to help you learn everything that you need to know about nutrition and GLP-1. So in there you will find information about managing side effects with nutrition. You will find recipes and meal plans, checklists, and basically everything that you need to get moving on your GLP-1 journey if this is new for you and you are just getting started. On the website, you will also find recipe collections. So I have 3 recipe collections: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I also have a 30-day meal plan on there, and I'm totally open to suggestions of things that you need, resources that you're looking for that maybe you're not finding. You can always email me at hello@glp1hub.com. You could even send me a text message like through whatever app you're listening on that will go directly to the podcast, and I would love to hear from you. And also remember, I love reviews. 5-star reviews are always welcome. Comments, anything like that. I am open to connecting with you. I am still looking at different ways to continue to build the community. So I'm looking at doing some type of Patreon to support the podcast. This would be like super low cost. It's really just to keep the spammers out that are trying to sell you shady sources of GLP-1 or give you the wrong information. And that's going to have additional resources and access to episodes. I'm still trying to figure out how to structure all of that. So you're going to want to be sure that you are on our weekly newsletter so you can get all the information about everything that's going on with GLP-1 Hub. I am working hard on the other side of this to bring you the best information possible, but I'm sure you're done with me rambling, so let's get on to today's episode. Welcome to the GLP-1 Hub podcast. I am excited today to welcome someone that I met, I believe, on YouTube, who has an incredible story. Barb Herrera, she has lost, I believe, over 300 pounds or close to 300 pounds.
280.
Yes, on GLP-1. So I'm excited that she's here to share her story because that's an incredible amount of weight to lose, like 2 people.
I know, I agree. And I
Yes.
cannot believe I used to carry 2 people. That is so wild to me.
Well, 3 people really, I guess, plus
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
let's go to the beginning. So where
Sure.
did all of this begin with your struggle with your weight, and walk me through where you've
Ever
been?
since I was a little girl, my mama took me to the doctor at 10 and he put me on amphetamines.
Oh my gosh.
Which was, yeah, that's exactly what they did back then. And then just everything, diet, exercise, diet aids, all of that was just a part of my life. And I've been super obese for a long time, probably since I was right after I had my kids or right before I had my kids, I was super obese and just got bigger and bigger. And in 1996, I did fen-phen. And I got the heart valve problem and they took it off the market. And then in 2001, I had an RNY gastric bypass and that lasted for a couple of years. And then 3 years ago, doctor told me that I either needed to change my life or I was going to live in a nursing home. And he saved my life. He saved my life.
And
So
how old are you now, Barb?
I'm 64.
Okay. So when you were doing all of these different things, you said the Roux-en-Y worked temporarily,
Right.
which is actually not uncommon for that surgery. I used to work with gastric bypass patients,
Okay. Yeah.
preparing them for the surgery, but sometimes I'd see them after and it wasn't always lasting. So what happened there that caused you to regain the weight after that surgery?
After the gastric bypass, I got scared when I got to 150 pounds from 360 to 150, I got really scared, and it was an issue that I've dealt with in therapy for a million years. And when I hit 150, I had a moment of this time, but now I'm down to 125 and I feel amazing and I'm not scared anymore. I put on a size 8 jeans and I walked out of the dressing room and all my friends were there watching. And the first thing out of my mouth, totally unbidden, I said, I need to eat some chips. And that was it.
And then
That
it
was it.
just came back. So
Yep.
would you be willing to share about sort of that mental struggle? Like, what was it that you couldn't accept weighing 100?
Sure, sure. When I was younger, I had been assaulted in the worst way
Mhm.
by 3 guys. And I had been drinking and then they took me somewhere and abused me. And that was right around when I weighed 150 at one point because I was riding my bike a lot. And that was it. I was afraid of being hurt by men and just didn't want that. Now, what's interesting about it now, besides all the therapy, is that I'm over 60 and there's a part of me in my head that's like, you're just not attractive to young men anymore. So I win all the way around.
Sure. So now you're like, I can be free of this weight and
Yes.
free of the that burden or you
Exactly.
were carrying around for a little bit.
Exactly.
So, in terms of now, what are some of the changes that you have had to make? Because losing 280 pounds is not just the action of the medication,
No, 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 no,
So
no.
let's like it's more the medication is a tool
Mhm.
to help you, be able to achieve that. But what are some of the other things that you're doing right now?
Yeah, and it started with when I was 405 pounds and I could not get out of bed to go the 5 feet to the bathroom without a walker. And the first thing I started to do was just lifting my arms and lifting my legs. And then I started learning to walk again. And it took me about 3 months to be able to get down the stairs in the front of the house. And then it took me 8 months to get to the mailbox at the end of the driveway. So I just started going one step closer every day. And now I'm able to go 7 to 8 miles at a time. That's a
Awesome.
typical morning walk for me, is 7 to 8 miles.
That's amazing.
And then I also did, and so we'll just keep going. So
Yeah.
went on the I got weights and I got bands and I started doing those to YouTube videos. And it was in November of last year that I finally joined a gym, that I felt comfortable enough joining a gym. And it has been so much fun. One reason is because when I find somebody that was as big as I was, I let them know. I tell them. And I even have shirts that say I've lost 200 and into life so that people will ask me questions. And I love that. So I found several people on GLP-1s that
Awesome.
way.
So how were you taking care of yourself at 400 pounds if you couldn't walk to the bathroom?
It could not. I took a shower probably every 3 or 4 weeks. I had to have my kids come and help me in my room. I could not sweep the floor. I could not pick things up off the floor. So, of course, I got one of those things, one of those crunchy things.
Grabbers.
Yeah, grabber. I could not wipe myself. And I had to get, oh, I don't have it sitting here. I had a tool about this long to get to wipe myself. I just jumping when I could wipe myself by myself, it was a red letter day. I was so excited that I could go to the bathroom and not use a tool. It was just so amazing, so amazing.
I
And
bet.
showering, of course, I shower every day now, easy, but it used to take me about an hour in the shower, and it was a big shower, and I still was too big for it. And it was very, very difficult. And then I would come and I would sleep for a couple of days because it was so exhausting.
So
I
you
know.
were pretty much like a prisoner of your bedroom.
Correct. Correct.
And so who would bring you food or who would like
Oh, Uber
sustain?
Eats. Uber Eats would bring me food. And I would take my walker and go up to the front door and get my Uber Eats and I ordered lots. When I quit eating Uber Eats, which was the first thing I did that 3 years ago was quit Uber Eats. And I ended up in that first year saving, I think I counted about $15,000 from eating Uber Eats. I would get 2 meals, extra large meals, like for a family, that I would graze on it all day long and all night long and all the next morning. And then I'd start again and I'd order again. And yeah, and I drank 8 to 10 Diet Cokes at that time a day, cans of Diet Cokes. And the moment I started Mounjaro, the Coke desire was gone. And I threw out all the Diet Coke that I had left, and I've never looked back. I've never wanted it. I also, because I was in so much pain, I was drinking 3 bottles of amaretto a week. And when I tasted that right after starting Mounjaro or Trulicity, it tasted like mud. And so I've not had a drink since then either.
Wow. So it helped you quit drinking alcohol too?
Yes, yes. And then I learned that in a bottle of amaretto, there are 60 teaspoons of sugar. And so I
Yeah.
was drinking, 180 teaspoons of sugar a week.
Well, I would assume with the condition that you were living in, like the depression was very strong. And so alcohol, I mean, people use alcohol to cope with depression and food to cope with depression. And so the fact that you're able to break out of that cycle, because, the depression makes the depression worse.
Correct. I have bipolar 1 and I'm still on all my meds and I do really well. During COVID, I was so despondent, and fat and old people were supposed to die and save money for the country and all of that. I actually had a DNR, a do not resuscitate, over my bed so that if EMS came to me, I wanted to die. I did not want to live. And now the business that I have, the sites that I have, are help at any cost, because now I will do anything to stay alive. Anything to stay alive.
That's amazing. So do you think that beyond the medication, like giving you back your life, do you think that it changed something in your brain?
Yes, absolutely.
Can you talk
Absolutely.
about that?
Sure. I don't know if I have a GLP-1 deficiency. I'm not sure exactly what it is. And I think they'll figure it out one day. I think it's not too far before they figure it out. GLP-1s are in every cell of our body. It's not just in our brain, not just in our gut. It's all over in our liver and kidneys and everywhere. When I had what people call food noise, I actually call a food cacophony. It was like a running dialogue, like a chyron that goes underneath and watching the news, and the news going in one here and news going in this other frame. And it just continued to say, where's food? Where can I eat? What can I eat? How can I do this? Oh, if I go to this party, I can eat. And I wonder if people are going to watch, and I'm going to take some food and go in the bathroom and eat it. And it just was like that continuously. And then the moment I started, Trulicity was a little better. I did Trulicity for a year and they lowered things a little, but Mounjaro just made everything silent. And immediately I had more room in my brain to do things. I'm a writer. I could hardly write. It was so difficult before. And now I'm able to write. I'm writing my memoir is one of the things that I'm doing right now. And yeah,
So
just, yeah, go ahead.
Trulicity is one of the ones that you give yourself a shot every day. Is that
No,
no?
that's also once a month as well. And
Okay.
that helped to lower, when I started all of this, my hemoglobin A1C was 9.0. And Trulicity brought it down enough that I could get off the 2 insulins that I was on. And then Mounjaro brought it down to a 5.0. So I'm in the non-diabetic range. So my diabetes is in remission.
So what other health conditions were reversed?
I had diastolic heart failure, and this is starting the 3 years ago, and it was in April, 3 years, April 2022. Diastolic heart failure, liver disease, sleep apnea, GERD. Let's see what else. There were many different things that I had, and they're all gone. Everything is gone. Oh, I have chronic kidney disease, and chronic kidney disease is not supposed to improve when you know that too, right? Mine has improved so much. My nephrologists cannot believe what my numbers look like. I went from having moderately severe chronic kidney disease, and now it's in the normal range. And it's not supposed to get better, and it
No,
did. Yeah.
because chronic kidney disease, I mean, that's self-explanatory. It's chronic.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yep.
exactly.
So, okay. So what does your diet look like now? You talked a little bit about your walks and your gym. So how many times are you doing Uber Eats, or what do you?
Zero Uber Eats. Zero, which is wonderful, which is wonderful. I never counted a calorie. People go crazy when they hear what I did. So I never counted a calorie, never counted macros, nothing like that. I cooked a lot for my kids. I had 3 kids and I cooked a lot. And now I don't want to cook anymore. So I eat lean cuisine and healthy choice. Chicken, just plain chicken. I'll eat it with some Sonny's barbecue sauce, a little bit of barbecue sauce on it. Now I eat yogurt with granola and dried fruit. I used to just eat the yogurt by itself, but now because I'm in maintenance, I've been in maintenance for 5 months now. I have started adding things. I had not had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in all those years. I used to eat 3 at a time. And now I
Wow.
can eat half. And I just reintroduced that. And I have one whole sandwich a week is all I do. So 2 halves in 2 different days.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So
So
just all kinds of, I've gone to restaurants. I didn't start going to restaurants until probably a year ago, and I order what I want and I eat what I want, and then the rest of it goes in the garbage. And I know people get upset about throwing away good food, and that's just, throwing away money and throwing away garbage. But for me, it was better to go in the garbage than go on my body because I know what it's like to be ill. I know what it's like to be sick. And just for reference about that, I've talked to a plastic surgeon, a reconstructive surgeon, because I have 10 pounds, 12 pounds of skin. And the downtime, I'd need 8 surgeries to get everything done. And the downtime for each one is between 3 and 6 months. And then when I get my abdomen done and do all of that, and they cut you from here all the way around the back. And that takes about 8 months to recover from. So I have made the decision, besides cost, which is, they told me over $100,000. But besides cost, I also do not want to lie in my bed anymore. I
mhm.
do not. I just had surgery, cancer surgery. And the first thing when I come out of anesthesia is, when can I go to the gym? When can I go walking? And they limit me to 1 mile a day. And I'm like, oh my gosh, is that all I can do? Because I'm just so used to it. And I love being up. I love being out. I've never had this experience in my life. Never.
Sure. So are you doing okay with that surgery? What kind of cancer did you have surgery for?
I have malignant melanoma, and they have
Okay.
to do, I've had 4 surgeries now and 8, 9 pieces taken out. And I actually had, in the last 2 months, I've had 2 surgeries. And one of the things that was difficult about it is that I had to be off the Mounjaro for over a week. I was off for 11 days once and 10 days for the other. So in those 2 months, I was off my Mounjaro for 21 days out of 56. And boy, was I hungry. Come the second time around, I could not wait to give myself my shot after the surgery. So,
So did you gain any weight, or were you being cautious?
yeah, I ate like I usually do until it started coming back. The food noise started coming back, and I was really ravenous for a couple of days. And then it was time to take my shot again. And now I'm balanced again, which is wonderful.
Sure. Yeah, it's unfortunate that
Yeah,
that.
I stay between 124 and 130 is where I kind of bounce back and forth between. And I'm real comfortable with that. Today I weighed 126.
Okay, perfect. So all the new things that you've been doing, you mentioned you've been writing, you have a YouTube channel. So tell me about like that new work that you've been doing around this.
One of the things I want to do is I want to reach out to people who are as big as I was or bigger, because there is a slot in GLP-1's information that doesn't speak about how difficult it is to move. Everyone says, you got to lift weights, you have to go for a walk. And when you can't walk, how can you even lift weights? So I explain and help be a friend and an inspiration is what they keep telling me to people. And okay, so after you lift your arms, the next thing you lift is soup cans, and then you lift bigger soup cans, and then you start lifting. And I was finally able to start doing weights when I could carry the large laundry soap
Mm.
bottles.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I did for probably the first year. I didn't have anything except for just household things to do. So I like to be a leader so that they can see that they too can do this, because there's such despair in people over 300, 400, 500 pounds. And I want to be a beacon of hope that they also can overcome and be walking outside as well.
Sure. So for the people in that group, are they struggling? Have you seen with your community at all that they're struggling with getting it covered by insurance? Because I know that
Yes.
sometimes that can be an
Yeah.
issue.
Compounding is so sad that compounding is going away because so many people used it. The 4 people that I talked to have it covered because of their size and diabetes for
Mm.
one. And the other 3 that I spend a lot of time with, because of their obesity and heart disease and sleep apnea, things like that, they're getting it prescribed for them, which is good. But the cost is absurd. My insurance pays for it in full. So I'm very, very blessed that my insurance pays for it.
Right, right. I think that there really needs to be more expansion. I believe that that they're trying to negotiate for it to be covered by Medicare for weight loss,
Right,
but
right.
I think that some of the drug companies are suing to prevent that. So it's an interesting world because I do think it could help a lot of people, even if they're not 300 pounds. I feel like,
Absolutely. And that's what I explained too, is that even if you have 50 pounds to lose, it's such a help to be on the medications. And that helps to avoid being 400 pounds. That helps to not get heart disease. That helps to not get all those problems that I had and that so many people have in their family. And even if they're not super obese, they're doing great things to be able to avoid all of the difficulties. Why in our country you have to be sick before people will help you? It's just wrong. They just need to take care of people before they get sick. Health care, not sick care.
yeah, absolutely. So in terms of this community that you're trying to help, what are some of the ways you're helping them besides like talking to them? But like you have a YouTube and what else?
And they do too. And I also have a blog at anycost.com. And I've had blogs for 20 years, 25 years, and a lot of it talked about weight. And then I was a midwife and a doula for about 32 years. So I'm a retired midwife. And I had a midwifery blog as well. And I concentrated on people who were obese, who most people would turn away as a midwife would, and I would take them on as clients and work with them so that they stayed healthy and their baby stayed healthy during the pregnancy and during the birth. Yeah, I rearranged my office so that it was comfortable for big people. I had chairs without arms. I had couches that would not let you sink in them. I had big cuffs and bigger speculums and there's so much. I work hard to help doctors' offices and specialists' offices. There's nothing worse than walking in and going to get weighed and their scale doesn't go over 300 pounds. And that's humiliating. And so even my endocrinologist didn't have a scale over 300 pounds. I'm like, you're an endo. You'd see diabetics all the time. I don't understand. So now she has one. So I'm very happy about that. But yeah, there's so many nuances about taking care of people, even if they're just 200 pounds. You don't have to be giant to be inconvenienced by the world. And the world is very difficult.
Yes, definitely. Well, that's so wonderful that you're able to like, even before all this, you were able to help that group, that you have that sort of passion. So what does the future hold for Barb?
I am a Disney fanatic and I live in Orlando, blessedly. And
Cool.
for 20 years, I had not gone into a Disney park without a wheelchair, without a electric wheelchair. And in October 20th of last year, my whole family came from around the country to be with me when I walked into Epcot. And it
You make
was
me cry,
amazing.
Barb.
And
You
I
make me
know I've
cry.
got chills every time. And I walked around all day, all day. I ended up
God.
walking 8 miles, and I wasn't walking 8 miles at that time. Was only down 255 that day that I walked in. So, and now it's just amazing. And I go out there and walk around, and it's just amazing. I can ride any ride. I fit in any chair. I don't have to look at toilets anymore and think, am I going to break the seat? Am I going to fit in this booth? I have to tell people that work in restaurants, do not offer a bigger person a booth. It's ridiculous. And then what happens is they are afraid to say something and they squeeze in, and then the whole meal, they're just so uncomfortable.
Hmm.
And there's just, unless people are getting made fun of, a lot of times we're just not paid attention to.
Right, right. So, what is your favorite park?
Epcot,
Okay.
definitely,
Yeah,
definitely Epcot. That's why we chose to go to Epcot.
that's awesome. I love Disney too.
I love it.
So, are you planning on doing any traveling? Are you expanding your business? Like, what else are you up to?
I have 5 grandkids and they all live out of town, and they did not know me before. They did not know me very well. They had to come to me and visit with me, and they didn't talk to me a whole lot. And I went once on a plane and had to have 3 seats. And then all the other times I've had 2 seats. And now that I only need 1 seat with room to spare, and while I'm in the plane, I invite people to come and sit with me who are bigger. Don't want them to feel bad about not having a place to go. And now my daughter pays for me to come see the 3 grandkids in Texas probably once a month now. And I'm able to go. I'm going this weekend. So I'm very excited and I'm very happy. And then my other grandchildren live in Jacksonville, and I take the train up and I come back, and it's just wonderful. And they all know me and they love to hug me now. And I jumped on a trampoline with my grandkids
Oh my
in
gosh.
Texas. I've never jumped on a trampoline ever. We got video of it too, so it was great. I swang in a swing. I have not been on a swing since I was a kid. And I was on a swing and I couldn't believe it. There's just so many nuances. It's going to make me cry. So many nuances that a lot of people just don't, I'll say, that they take for granted
Hmm.
and that they're able to do. And now to be able to do these things is surreal and it's so wonderful.
Right, right. Because you weren't able for so long. And now, you have that
A
somewhat
life.
time back. Yeah. Yeah.
A
That's
life,
amazing.
yes.
That's amazing.
Thank
So do
you.
you feel that your grandchildren are interacting with you differently now? Beyond like you being able to go see
No,
them?
they did not see size except for my one granddaughter who loves my baggy arms. She
Mm.
says they feel like bread dough. So she always comes, Danny, can I feel your bread dough? And I'm like, yes, you can come feel my bread dough, darling. But yeah, they didn't see me as fat. They just saw me as immobile. And anytime I went there, even when I was going once a year, taking 2 seats and going and being there once a year for a holiday, I just sat with my computer. And now I don't take my computer anymore because we're running all the time. So
Hmm.
it's
Right.
fun.
So you're able to actually interact with them
Yes,
more,
yes, yes,
way
exactly.
more.
I played pickleball last time I was there. And with the kids. I didn't play with the adults because I'm too scared to play with the adults. But yeah, I played with the kids and it was so much fun. It was so much fun.
That's amazing. So I just really feel the joy that you have, Barb, and I really, really appreciate your time. Like this is such a wonderful story of just getting your life back and how these medications can really change somebody's life for the better. And I appreciate all the hard work that you've done
Yeah, and
to
continue
do
to
that.
do exactly.
Yes.
I get so offended when people say this is the easy way out. I'm like, I'm sorry, come live in my world for a day and see how uneasy this is for somebody who's never done it before.
Hmm.
And it is. I'm continually going, continually moving, doing more, doing more. And I tell, if I can moment. I tell people I worked my ass off, quite literally, to be able to get here. And it's just a wonder. It's a joy.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I hope you keep on. I hope you continue to share your story and be an inspiration for people that are without hope, because I think that there
Thank
is
you.
hope. There is hope now with this.
There
So thank
is,
you so
there
much for your
is.
time, Barb. I really
You are
appreciate it.
so
And
welcome.
I'll share your YouTube channel and your blog, tell
Okay.
people if they want to come check you out and connect with you.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you
Uh-huh.
so much for
You're
today.
welcome.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of the GLP-1 Hub podcast. I am so grateful that you are here. If you are loving the podcast, please consider leaving a review anywhere you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Amazon, wherever it is that you're listening. Please be sure to leave a review. Just click the 5 stars, and written reviews are always welcome. Be sure to check out the store in the meantime on glp1hub.com, and I'll see you guys next week.